Welcome back, Thunderbutts.
Welcome back. Hello.
Hello, hello.
How you doing, Neil?
I'm doing good.
That's
doing
good.
good after what I just visually took in.
That's fantastic. And the TikTok drama?
Yeah, the drama.
There's a TikTok drama, as there always is, and I was just familiarizing Neil with that. But that's not why we're here. Why are we here today?
We are here to continue our series called Scripted. It is season 2 of a Thunderbutts podcast.
That's right.
And
where we see what happened on the page versus what happened on the screen.
Exactly. We are on episode 4.
Quattro.
And
That's
today
right.
we are talking John Wick.
I want to say it at the same time.
Oh.
It's okay.
wanna
John
do
Wick. No, it's okay. I was going to fool you and act like I read the wrong script. I had like a whole bit in my head. It's okay. Anyway, we're talking about John Wick. That's what we're doing. I read the script. Neil has not. We've both watched the movie a bunch of times. It's a fantastic movie. It's one of my favorite action movies.
Yeah, last week we went ahead and went for Ocean's 11, where I read the script and
That's
Luke
right.
did not.
That's right.
And so the first episode of Scripted, we both read the script of Rush Hour, talked about it. The second episode, we did Tropic Thunder, where we both read the script. And then we decided to switch the game plan a little bit.
That's what we did. Yep. That's what we did. That is the full breakdown. What else did we do?
We got pretty sweaty in that one episode.
Oh, yeah. The Tropic Thunder episode is a very sweaty episode.
It was tropical.
Yeah. It heated up a bit. In more ways than one. But yeah, today we're talking about John Wick. This is one of my favorite action movies. In my opinion, the first John Wick movie is the perfect action movie.
Did you see John Wick? Where did you see it?
Do you agree with
first?
my opinion?
I do. I do. 100%. Yes.
All right.
I agree. Full agree.
I didn't know if I'd get pushback on that. Or
No,
not.
I think it's one of the greatest
Calling
action
something
movies.
perfect is, it's hard.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the reason why it was also so awesome is because it was unexpectedly awesome.
Yeah. Well, I love Keanu. I love almost any Keanu movie I've ever seen. I can't think of a bad one. Well, I can think of bad Keanu movies, but I can't think of a Keanu movie that I did not enjoy.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, I can't remember where I first saw John Wick. It was not the theaters, though.
I saw it in the
I
theaters.
saw it at home.
Yeah.
At someone's home.
Came out in 2014.
Ooh.
Yeah, I saw it here in Chicago.
I think I was in the trailer park when I saw it. I was in some trailer home. Could have been mine, watching it. And, it was an experience.
And
It was
thinking,
amazing.
man, it's kind of a good gig to be an assassin.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
You get a nice, I mean, it's kind of a good gig. Like John Wick's, I guess to kind of just start a little bit into the movie, you see him in suburbia. He's got a nice life. And,
Yeah, he's in Jersey, got a dope-ass house,
Yeah.
bomb-ass car, nice life, does not have to need for nothing. I think that's the term.
Doesn't seem really afraid that he was an assassin, like that he's looking over his shoulder or anything.
Well, that's because he is the assassin.
Yeah, he is the John Wick.
Yeah,
as we
he's John
find out.
Wick. The cool part about the movie John Wick is like the first 20 or so minutes, you're just like, who the fuck is this guy? Let's actually get into it because when we did Rush Hour, we found out that we were essentially the script is
A completely different movie.
It's a completely different fucking movie. Tropic Thunder is the same movie, just punched up. And that was pretty much the same for
Ocean's 11, pretty much the same but punched up.
Ocean's 11 was a script that kind of maybe would have worked, but then turned into the masterpiece that it was, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So let's talk about John Wick. So John Wick, the script, I will say that it's kind of along the same lines of Ocean's 11. So there are differences. Actually, some of them are pretty big. So I was just taking notes as I was reading. First off, in the script, he is an old man in his early 60s. Now, Keanu is an old man, but he was 49.
Yeah.
So they aged him down a little bit, but literally in the script. So first off, the script starts off in a very cliche way. If you've ever made film or written any sort of script, one of the things that they're going to tell you that's a cliche is don't make the fucking short film where you see the alarm clock and like the person wakes up. It's like a big thing, right? They even talk about in like some festivals and stuff, like people who like read or watch the films in the festivals, and they'll be like, yeah, I watched 1,000 and like I kept track, and 800 of them like someone woke up to an alarm clock. That's how this script starts, and it shows, and it like says it's like an old gnarled hand reaches for the alarm clock, like, so it's like it's supposed to be this old man, which, you know, I think, you know, Keanu definitely makes this movie, right?
Yeah.
So they aged him down a bit. Also, it's not like this fancy house. It's a farmhouse, actually.
Because in the movie, they're in the fine state of New Jersey.
Yeah, so they don't say where, but like, and they also say like, I'll say this, like it's a farmhouse, and then like later on when he goes, and in the film, in the script it's a farmhouse, and in the film it's Jersey, and in the film he like goes into New York City, and in the script they just say, and then he goes into the city. So like they're non-specific, but there's literally a barn. Like he has a barn, that's where the car is and everything like that. And it's like the house is like weathered, you know, it's not like it's not like dilapidated, but it's like not been taken care of. There's like dusty, like the pictures of him and his wife are like dusty on the walls and stuff like that. He's just like depressed. So the movie starts with like that scene where he's like limping out of the car and he like watches the dead wife beach video, you know, like none of that happened, like, and then they like cut to like, oh, my wife died, wake up to the alarm clock, and like you see John Wick go throughout his day of like driving the fucking car in the airplane hangar, you know, that, and like you know, he makes his breakfast, drives his car, he eats food, he goes to bed, you know, that sort of thing. You don't really get it. Just starts with him having just like a day, right? It's dusty, weathered, and in the film the whole house is like pristine. It's like this super dope like sort of mansion thing. And he gets also, his wife's name is Norma in the script. It's Helen in the film, but it like barely gets mentioned.
And what's the script called? Is it John Wick?
Oh yeah, the script is called Scorn.
Hot.
It's a fucking rampage movie. The script is called Scorn, which is a cool name, sick name. To be honest,
I think I think I would have thought maybe a horror movie.
Yeah. Yes. Well, and also it's kind of giving like Taken, you know, Scorn.
Yeah.
He was Scorn, you know. But yeah. Anyway, he just like he's like walking around like that first day he wakes up. He gets a call, and it doesn't really say who, and like he just like cries, and they don't really explain that. So he's just like this sad, sort of depressed old man. And his car is in the old barn, and it is a black 69 Mustang Boss 429, just like in the movie, except like it needs work. Like it needs a wash, a wax. He like goes to start it up, and like black smoke spews out of the shit. Yeah, like it needs work. And like
the car he's got in the film is sick.
Yeah, and I mean it is that same car.
Yeah.
It's just fucked, right? Like he just needs to put in some work. Like he hasn't been taking care of anything. It flashes back to his wife getting the plug pulled and stuff, and then like it cuts to him like hanging up that phone call, crying, and then he like trashes the house. And then he goes into his basement, pours himself a scotch, pulls out an old dusty pack of cigarettes from a drawer, lights it up, like downs the scotch, gets a knock on the door.
John Wick's a smoker.
He pulls out like it's clearly like a, you know, like this pack has been here for years sort of thing. Pulls it out and he's just like smoking it, and then he pulls out a pill bottle that has his wife's name on it. It's OxyContin. He dumps it all out, and he looks at the pile of pills. He picks one up and he's looking at it, and he gets a knock on the door.
Oh.
And he goes up to the knock, or to who's knocking, and it's delivery for him.
Oh, okay.
And it's the dog.
It's the dog.
So in the film, it is a beagle.
Okay.
And it's named Daisy. In the script, it's a Chorgy.
Oh,
which is a half Chihuahua, half Corgi.
Yeah, so both little dogs.
Both little dogs. You know,
Puppies.
You know, it's not super important. Although its name was Daisy. Like he's like, what's your name? And like looks at the things like, oh, Daisy, huh? Like in the film, in the script, there's like a daisy on the envelope, and like it says in the script, like, you know, reminds him of it, like that was like her thing was daisies, and he's like, "What's your name?" and looks at the thing, and the dog, who's also there's my doggy. He looks at the dog, and it's also they're both female. The dog's name in the script is Moose. Yeah,
Moose. All right.
Moose. Also, the dog letter is different. The letter he gets from his wife. So he gets a letter. So he reads the letter. It's very emotional. This is the whole setup of the movie, right? Is like he gets like this gift from his wife from beyond the grave, and in the movie he's like, you know, or she's like, you know, like, you know, I'm finally at peace. I know this battle, this disease I've been fighting. You know, it's been hard and all that. I hope you can find peace with, and the car doesn't count. You know, she says that. This is all in the film.
When I was watching the movie the first time, I didn't really like comprehend the idea of like, wait a minute, why does he get a dog after his wife? But it's like it took me a while, like through the movies or whatever, to realize like, oh, she was like sick. Yeah. And then the whole point, it's like he's not just pissed about the dog. This dog is like representative of like, hey, I'm gonna die, so I'm gonna have this dog delivered to you, so you're not alone.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And she does say that in the thing, like if you, so in the film or in the script, she does say in the letter, like, if you've gotten this package, it means that like I lost my battle, sort of thing. But it's just kind of alluded to, like, all right, she planned this up for like after her passing, he would get this dog, sort of thing, beyond the grave. But in the letter that she writes, she kind of alludes to his dark past. And in the film, she just talks about him like finding peace and like the car doesn't count and stuff. But she is kind of like, I know you've been through a lot and blah, blah, blah. Like she alludes to it, but she doesn't like say anything specifically. And then, okay, so in the film, we have like, we see a day of John after his wife's death and then we see a day of John with the dog, right? In the script, we see a day of John after his wife's death, and that same day he gets a dog, and then time jump 3 years later.
Whoa!
Yes. 3 years pass. 3 years
with the dog.
And like he wakes and like, so it's kind of the same thing. He wakes up, you know, but this time he has the dog, you know. But like in the film, it's like, you know, he like goes to get the newspaper and like he's like, where are you going? And like, oh, dogs poop, you know, like, and he like he makes the dog a bowl of cereal because he's like, I'll get you some kibble when we get to town, you know, like he's like fully dog dad mode, things like that. He goes and the rest of it's pretty much the same, except he goes out to his car and the house is pristine now. It's all fixed up and it's not weathered anymore. And the car is fucking is mint, just like it is in the film.
This is kind of a good. am liking the script better almost.
Really?
Yeah.
So
I mean, I still like John Wick, but it's like this is kind of cooler in a way.
I'll tell you this. I think the film is better because it's more like Rampage. Like these things just kind of happen.
It's more succinct.
And you fall in love with the dog instantly, right? And then you fall in love with John and the dog instantly, and like he's just starting to get used to it, and what happens, right? So like the moment like he's like you start to get hope, and then it's taken away, so, which I kind of like. But yeah, he lives for 3 years with this fucking dog. He fixes up the car, everything's good to go, and you know he goes to the airfield with the dog as if it's a normal thing, you know, driving around. Also, the airfield is like abandoned in the film. Like he like pulls up and like stares down this guy.
At a security guard.
And the guy lets him in. And in the script, I mean, it's a nice detail that they added, but in the script, it's just like abandoned, and he like goes there every day. But the same sort of thing happens. He pulls up to the gas station. The Russians are like, "How much for the car?" One thing though is that he has the same interaction with Theon Greyjoy.
Yeah, I was about to say, is Theon Greyjoy in the script?
Yosef. Like all the names are the same, except he's like. They don't say bitch to each other. He's like, everything's for sale, and he's like, not this, like in Russian, which I think was a great punch up, because he's like, everything has a price, bitch, and he's just like,
Suka.
And he's like, not this, bitch. Yeah, and it's like the same sort of thing. Dude's like taken aback because he could speak fluent Russian, you know, like, And that's pretty much it. It all kind of goes down the same way, except he's in his basement drinking scotch, shit like that. He hears a noise. He comes up, and like they have broken in, and they're like taking the fucking they're trying to get the car keys. They kill the fucking dog immediately. And the one big difference is that the dog death is a lot longer. like in the film, you hear like a thump and and
you don't even see anything. You don't
see it. They cut
just
away.
See like a hand raise.
Yeah, they cut away.
They cut away, and you hear like
you hear the yelp, and then you see the dog. Right, and then after they leave, like after they fuck him up, and Theon's like, "What up, bitch?" And he's just like lying on the ground, and he's cuddling with it. He's just like lying with the dead dog. Like the dog like crawls to John and is like, like has like a few like death rattles or whatever they call it. Like it goes on for like half a page, maybe a full page of just like, when is this fucking dog gonna take its last? You keep thinking like, all right, and then it like lets out a groan, and you're like, and then it looks up at John. You're like, okay, when's this dog gonna die? Because I am fucking like, I do not like this. So they tighten that up. They tighten that up a bit.
Yeah, I think they probably were like, let's not show dog death.
Yeah. It was very sad in both, but I think it was a lot more succinct and still got the point across in the film. So then the next day, he does get up and he turns into John Wick. So they explain it in the script, like as he like washes himself in the shower, like like you see like his demeanor like get serious and stuff like that, and then he puts on his clothes, but it's not normal clothes you've seen him in so far. Now it's like a fucking suit. Like in the film, I'm pretty sure he's like still in his PJs.
Yeah, he's in the
when
film.
He goes to Aurelio's.
Yeah, when he's hanging out, he's like, in regular PJs, and he's got some kind of cash. He's got just some regular street clothes on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he throws on like a blazer or something like that and gets on the bus.
Yeah.
So in the script, that's when he starts putting on like fancier clothes.
Suit.
And as he leaves the house, it shows like the pictures on the walls, and there's like the pictures of him and his wife, but there's also pictures of him and Moose. Yeah, it's very sad.
Because he spent 3 years with this dog.
Yeah, because he spent 3 years with this fucking dog.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That does make it worse. Now I'm kind of glad they did just like fast forward through all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit different when he like has, because dogs, don't live that long, right? So
no, we got
also,
about 15 years at best.
Well, and Moose is a puppy, or Daisy is a puppy when she meets John, and now I'm pretty sure, like it's like a full-grown dog at this point. It's still like a little dog because it's a Chorgi, half Corgi, half Chihuahua. So it's still a small dog, but like it's got some years on it now. And in the film, like it stayed a puppy. it was a little baby puppy,
right?
Which kind of makes it even sadder.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I mean, killing puppies.
Who the fuck?
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah. So, and that's essentially the setup. There's a lot more changes to come. But yeah, what do you think so far?
I mean, is it start to so it pretty much so your big change is obviously
the time jump.
The time jump, the little background or a little character context.
Yeah, so I'll say.
I mean, this still doesn't sound like a bad movie.
It doesn't, and like there's a lot more changes that we'll get into.
I don't like the title.
There's a lot more changes we'll get into. I do like a lot of things that they punched up. I mean, they punched up things in a good way.
Do you know who wrote the script?
I got it.
Oh.
But I'll say this. What it reminds me of is, you ever seen Red, starring Bruce Willis?
Yeah,
Retired,
sure.
Extremely Dangerous?
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like that.
Oh, okay.
This is just an old dude who used to fucking be the bomb skiggity.
I think
and
that
like
came out
the
around the same
wrong
time.
person
Yeah.
fucked with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah.
I think Red was a little bit before this, but yeah, same like few years. We'll look that up in a second. But yeah, I mean, it reminds me of that because this is supposed to be like an old dude, and like these like fucking young gangbangers just kind of crossed the wrong line.
This is when these movies, because like Taken came out in like 2009.
Yeah.
And like these were
people were saying the same things about John Wick when it dropped, like about Taken. Like people were kind of just like comparing it.
Yeah,
to that.
I mean, like these movies started to get popular where it's like you have an older person who had this literally violently successful life, and then they're kind of pulled back into the frame. I mean, that's like Red, right? Too, with Bruce Willis and Morgan Freeman. I mean, fast forward, eventually, the movie Nobody pretty much did
the same writers,
similar thing. I mean, I
believe those were the same writers.
Yeah, I mean, I think John Wick is. I think they wanted like, let's have a Taken in a way, but like John Wick wasn't a good guy.
Well,
per se,
the thing with John Wick is that like when I call it the perfect action movie, I mean it because like every single cliche from name a cliche from an action movie and they do it in that first one. Mm-hmm. There's the fucking, it's not in the script, but there's the fucking funeral scene that takes place in the rain, and then they cut to a wider shot and there's some dude with an umbrella looking from afar. and then he turns away and doesn't say anything to the main character. You know what I mean? Like everything you can think of from an action film, they jam-packed it into this fucking movie. Like, there's Russians,
Russians are the bad guys.
All of us, it's so good. So like I don't think I could see them taking from other things, but I think they really just set out to make one of the most action-packed movies I think they tried to do something really true to the action genre when they set out to write this thing. Yeah, is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, they weren't like trying to make John Wick any type of he's kind of like the anti-hero.
Yeah, they weren't trying to say he was a good guy sort of thing. Yeah,
because he's
not Die Hard.
He's like a mob. He's not a cop.
I'm pretty sure Red, he was caught up in like a fucking case of like someone blaming him for something he didn't do, sort of thing.
In Red, it was like they were CIA spies, right?
They had to take him out because he was too dangerous.
Yeah, and then
Die Hard, terrorists took over the building.
Plus Taken. John McClane. He's the NYPD cop.
Hey, relax, I'm a cop. Fucking Taken. They took his daughter.
Yeah.
He's
he was ex-CIA.
John Wick was thrown into this situation too. He was just living a peaceful life on a farm or Jersey, whatever you want to call it, and he had to do what he had to do. He went on a rampage, the ultimate rampage, a man on fire-esque rampage.
For real.
On that note, let's take a quick break, and when we get back, we can talk more about these changes.
Boop.
Nice.
We are back.
And we're back.
Back with John Wick.
Yep.
Luke just gave us a nice little roll-up of the difference between the first part of the script and the movie.
That's right.
A couple of differences.
A little bit, yeah.
Big 3-year fast forward in the script that we didn't see in the movie.
The time jump is crazy.
I guess my question out the gate would be, in the movie, we don't get too much world building of John Wick until they, went into the next movies. Is there any of that in the script at all?
The amount of world building is essentially the same.
Okay.
So yeah, he's a fucking assassin. The Continental is in the script. The speakeasy, the speakeasy in the basement of the hotel is there. The rules, things like that, the concierge, shit like that. I'll say, so after he cleans up the dog and buries the dog, he gets on a bus and goes to Aurelio's, and we see the flashback of the boys showing up with the car with Aurelio at Aurelio's, who, by the way, Aurelio is a late 60s Italian man.
Yeah. I mean, John Leguizamo.
They nailed it.
He's probably, in his 50s during this?
The guy can play anything, man. I'm just saying. But yeah, and in the film, Aurelio tells John who Yosef is and, how to find him. But in the script, so the same thing happens. He shows up. Yosef and crew shows up to Aurelio's, and hey, Ada. Mm-hmm. Hey, Ada, you're doing a little too much. You want to come here? You want a treat? Up, 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 up. There you go, baby. So, in the film, you see Yosef pull up to Aurelio's, and they do that thing, and Aurelio punches him in the face, and he's like, "Get the hell out of here." That's what happens in the script, right?
Yeah.
Just she's fine. I know, we're all distracted by the cute dog. So that's what happens in the script, except in the film, he's kind of like, where is he? Where's my car? And he's like, I don't know. It was here. He's like, but I'll tell you, it was Yosef. It's Vigo's kid. And this is where he kind of hangs out.
And Vigo's obviously Mr. Mobster.
And
still.
so that's what happens in the film. In the script, he's like, Aurelio is like, look, man, when I don't take a car, they usually go down to Takashi's chop shop. And in the film, he's like, I need a car. He doesn't do that. John Wick gets up, and he's like, all right, I'm going to Takashi's. And he goes to this Japanese chop shop and fucking kills everybody inside unarmed. He walks up with no weapon, and there's like 2 bodyguards, and they're like, hey, what are you doing here? And he's like, what? Reaches in, grabs the gun, like go and just he's described as the angel of death in the film, in the script, and every kill is described as 2 quick shots to the fucking dome and the chest piece. And he drops everybody, finds his car, peels out, gets in a chase with some dudes in like Nissans, crashes those, like pops them, like is picking up guns and like, you know, reloading. Cops show up with a helicopter, gets in a chase with them, loses the cops, loses the helicopter, and like dips out. So there's pretty much no police in the film. There's that one scene.
There's no cops.
Yeah,
in the movie.
there's one cop.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that. But yeah, he gets in like a cop chase and everything like that, which I do like how they cut all that.
Yeah, I'm glad they cut all that.
Yeah. And like one of like the dying dudes from the Japanese chop shop, he's like in a car turned upside down, and like it's like about to explode, and he's like, where's Yosef? And he's like, he hangs out in this place called the Red Circle in this club, and like he's like, all right, and like he you know, and the car blows up. He doesn't do it, but like, and it's even scripted, like John walks away and the car blows up, but he doesn't flinch or look.
He walks away.
All right, and then we get the same phone call between Aurelio and Vigo, which is like one of the most, like, that's like the dopest part of most of like any action film I've seen, when this gangster ass mob boss calls up Aurelio. He's like, yeah, I heard you punched my son in the face. And he's like, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It's like, why? It's like, he stole John Wick's car and killed his dog. And he's just like, oh. Hangs up.
Yeah.
And you're like, who the fuck is this guy, right?
I like that the most in the
bro.
movie, because you have like this in the movie there's like no exposition about John Wick at all. You're just kind of like, okay, Keanu is just kind of sad Keanu right now.
Yeah.
And then when you see this, like, obviously, I mean, there's something about Russians in a movie where you're just like, yeah, they're bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, they're mobsters and they're bad.
Right. And Vigo's wearing like a bomb ass suit in like Manhattan, looking on some
this
shit.
Like penthouse view.
You
know, and then like
shit.
they're just like, he took John Wick's car, and he's just like, oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Gangster as fuck. Well, and so up until this point in the film, like you're it's like building up. Like Aurelio's like, I know this fucking car, get it the fuck out of here. So you're like, okay, like he's somebody. And then when the mob boss is like, oh, you're like, who the fuck is he, right? So I do like how they cut out the whole, because in the script at this point, you've seen him like just murder like, 20 people, like effortlessly, walked up to like this, highly guarded fucking chop shop with no gun and left with his car and a trail of bodies, and then escaped the police, which included a helicopter. Like he GTA'd the fuck out of that. So I do like how they cut that out, because at this point we haven't seen him do anything badass, just look menacing. Right? No. And then like there's the scene where Yosef goes to his dad and he's like, "What's up, pops?" And like he like gut punches him a few times and all that. I just
stole a car, big deal.
So all that's pretty much the same, except he doesn't have that like non-Russian lackey guy. That guy's just not in the film.
Avi.
Yeah. He's Avi. He's not in the script. He's in the film. He's not in the script. But the big difference in this scene, well, one, Vigo is he has like a cane. He walks with a cane. And he's pretty spry in the movie.
Yeah, he's fine in the movie.
Yeah. In fact, he's like in good shape. But so the big difference is like how he's like, so what the fuck? Like, I took the guy's car. He was nobody. And Vigo goes in like that big speech, and that's how you find out who John Wick is. That is different.
The pencil speech.
Yes. So I wrote both of them down just so I can tell you how they are different. So, okay. In the script, it goes like this. He goes, "It's not what you did, it's who you did it to." And Yosef's like, "That old man?" And Vigo goes, "Careful, he's 3 years younger than I." So then Vigo goes, "His name is John Wick. And when he was 15, he lied his way into the Marines and headed off to Vietnam. So he's a veteran.
He's a veteran. Okay, all right. Thank you for your service, John Wick.
He specialized in force-oriented reconnaissance, meaning he often crossed over into enemy territory to both collect information and, should the opportunity present itself, fuck with the enemy in whatever way that he saw fit. And then it cuts to John with the sledgehammer in the basement, like in the movie. Mm-hmm. John earned 417 confirmed kills over the course of his 5 tours. Is that a lot? That sounds like a lot.
That's like...
That's an army.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like the dude who kills more people than smallpox kind of thing.
Yeah. The majority of those were done by hand, by blade, and by small caliber, which is unheard of. And in the film, he busts open the fucking floor to the basement and like pulls out crates and stuff. In the script, he reveals like a ladder and goes down into a sub-basement that has like a corridor that's like filled with everything. So he has like a little room in his basement, and it cuts to that and then cuts back. It got to him though. Hell, how could it not? Even though he won every military distinction on record, including the Medal of Honor. John was eventually discharged, with high honors, of course, and found himself in the city looking for work. And Yosef is like, what kind of work? And Vigo's like, what kind do you think? Yosef goes, oh. And Vigo says, John was the goddamn boogeyman. Give him a name, request a method, and he'd get it done. Come hell or high water, by God, he'd get it done. Then one day he fell in love and left the game. The years scrolled past, age set in, and he, like myself, had to watch the love of his life die. Suddenly alone, with no family to speak of, John deserved to live and die in peace. Instead, you went and killed his fucking dog.
That's not bad.
It's not bad, but...
I like the way they did in the movie.
This is how it went down in the movie, and I'll do it kind of fast. It's not what you did, son, that angers me so. It's who you did it to. Who, that fucking nobody? That fucking nobody is John Wick. He was once an associate of ours. They called him Baba Yaga. Yosef says, the boogeyman? Vigo says, well, John wasn't exactly the boogeyman. He was who you sent to kill the fucking boogeyman. And Yosef says, oh. Vigo says, John is a man of focus, commitment, sheer will. All the cutting to him fucking smashing the thing with this, like, just, sheer will. Something you know very little about. I once saw him kill 3 men in a bar with a pencil. A fucking pencil. Then suddenly one day he has to leave. It's over a woman, of course. So I made a deal with him. I gave him an impossible task, a job no one could have pulled off. The bodies he buried that day laid the foundation of what we are now. And then, my son, a few days after his wife died, you steal his car and kill his fucking dog.
Okay, so they kept that.
So much better though.
Yeah.
Like so now in the way they punched it up is not only is he this terrifying person that like we used to kind of work with, but we kind of owe this motherfucker. Like he laid the foundation. Like we're the shit because of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's like a deeper tie between he's like, not only do I know the boogeyman, but I know the boogeyman. You know what I mean? And also they kind of called him the boogeyman in the first speech. This is like, no. We call him the Baba Yaga. Like that is we call him the boogeyman because he's who you send to kill the fucking boogeyman.
Yeah.
That's
quite a character. That's a pretty stark I mean, it's like they make him, he's scripted as this like Vietnam vet.
Yeah.
Marine.
Yeah, another
right?
thing, yeah.
And in the universe he's like this Belarusian or
right. So I do like how they were like, let's not even go into his backstory. That way, like, if we expand on it, we can do that then.
Yeah.
That probably wasn't why they did it, but they're like, let's just leave his his whole backstory out of it. Instead of being like, when he was 15, he lied so he can be in the Marines so he can kill a small army. You know what I mean? Like, let's just allude to the fact that he is one bad motherfucker.
Be an alert team.
Yeah. So, and then the Russians creep up in his place, and he drops all those bodies and stuff, and the cop shows up, and he's like, hey, John.
Hi, John.
So in the script, as the Russians are creeping into his house, a cop car pulls up to the barn and finds the car, and they're like, "Yep, that's the car that was like reported earlier because he was in a police chase earlier, if you remember in the script." And the guy, and they're like, they run the plates, and they're like, "It says he's like in his 60s. There's no way it was this guy." And the guy in the passenger seat's like, "All right, I'll check it out," and like. It's the same scene after that, except it's like an older cop. And he's like, "Hey, John." He's like, "You working again?" He's like, no, not really. Just tying some. He's like, all right, are we gonna be hearing from you? And he's like, probably not. He's like, all right, see you later. And he's like, oh, hey, by the way, your car's kind of hot right now, so I just chill out a bit with using that car. And he's like, all right, thanks. So, and then the cop gets back into the car, and he's like, yeah, it wasn't him.
I mean, I think that's cool the way they did in the movie, where it's like even the cops know, like, let's just stay away from this. like we're just gonna stay away from him. He clearly has some type of code.
Yeah.
Where he kind of just takes out the riffraff, so to speak.
Yeah.
And doesn't really mess with us. Like that's what makes
that's
it
such
like
a sick scene.
Yeah.
Because you see like the blueberries and cherries like through the windows and stuff, opens the door and you're like, oh shit, and he's just like, hey John. But also when he pulls out all his ammunition in his sub basement. And in the film, this is when you first see him like suit up in his John Wick suit. Yeah, he's fully transformed.
He's got that sick. I mean, he's got some class.
In the script, he fully transforms like as he heads to Aurelio's. After he drops all those Russian bodies, he's the one. He wraps them up in plastic and gets all the fucking blood off of his wall. Like he cleans up everything like that. And when earlier when you see him in the sub basement, he's just pulling out ammunitions and shit like that. There's none of the coins aren't there. But after he wraps up the bodies, he makes the call and he's like, yeah, I'd like to make a dinner reservation for 4. And then you see him pull out coins. And in the script, they're literally scripted as American Liberty gold bullion coins, which is a real coin. So like
those are.
So they're like real coins scripted. I don't think they really go into it. And it's like the same thing. Charlie shows up and he's like, hey, John, you working again? And they literally just take the bodies. They don't clean up for him and anything like that. And, John's like.
I mean, does it ever go into the script? Because like one of the things that like John Wick was so gnarly was just he was gunfighting in that movie. Like you had. I mean, there was like this came out in 2014, right? And then I remember when the original Bourne Identity came out, and they talked about like how gnarly the fight scenes were, which they were. They were like the fighting, the gun, the tactical gunplay, so to speak.
John Wick, Bourne Identity. In the same way, John Wick like kind of changed the way that action movies like were filmed, right?
Yeah.
And one thing that John Wick is famous for is that like he went through like this intense combat and he like holds guns the correct way. He reloads.
Well, he was trained by. I mean, it's like the dude's actually like he has a big. His name's Sean Ryan. He's the Sean Ryan Show. Yeah, and he's a big podcaster. But before Sean Ryan was a Navy SEAL, and then he did some private security work. He was a contractor for the CIA as well. I mean, the guy definitely knew his way around a firearm, and apparently he was the dude that like they called to be like, hey, let's have Keanu Reeves like get taught by him,
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, Sean Ryan has like a story too. Like he's talked about it a little bit, like on his pod. But I mean, his his efficiency with a set of tools. By that I mean firearms.
Sure.
Right. Like he trained. Well, he like has a story where like some random actress that was just trying out to be in a Call of Duty game who had like never held a firearm. Like showed up and was like, hey, I'm about to go to this tryout, can you just teach me some stuff? And he was like, when's the tryout? And she was like, an hour or 2. And he was like, okay, I got you. I'm going to, show you how to clear a room like a pro. And then she showed up and they were like, yeah, you got the part. And how the hell did you learn this? Right. So
that was the training that Keanu went through for this film is like talked about a lot. I mean, it's the same. They say that Bob Odenkirk went through the same training. I don't know, or like similar training for nobody. And like you hear about action films and like people be like, yeah, he got John Wick training.
I mean, I've seen Bob Odenkirk. It's fine. I mean, like Keanu, he moves way better. I've seen some of the training videos where he's doing they call it you're doing 2-gun or 3-gun, right? And all that means is like you have 2 guns or 3 guns, and then you go through
never would have guessed that.
Yeah, you go through a tactical transition, right, where you run dry and then you switch.
Yeah,
and like
dry guys.
Yeah, one of the things that like John Wick like does really, it's sexy when he like cycles through a fire. And then that was the thing that like anybody who's like whether they're cops, whatever, military, or just knows some stuff about firearms that grinds people's gears about movies is just like, oh, they never run out of bullets or whatever.
Yeah,
and
this squashed that, right?
Yeah.
Like they faced that one head on,
Yeah.
which is not, that's one cliche that didn't survive because they were like, no, we're gonna do this legit, and that does kind of show in the script.
Yeah.
I will say, whoever wrote this script, I don't know if they're military or just like knows a lot about weaponry, but
he has sexy firearms.
The way that he was scripted to move or to shoot and to like handle the guns, because it's not like fully like step by step. It's hard to write action scenes. It's hard to film them too. And the way that they film is like sequentially. Like they'll just kind of go off vibes to like keep the energy going a lot of times, specifically in this movie. But like it'll be like and then John drops the clip. And like he sees like a so and so pulls it out of here and then like gets like the blue caliber and like he's the specificity of like the guns and like the clips that he's using is like, all right, this was thought of during the writing phase, and like whoever wrote it probably
that's what I was wondering too, because that was another thing. Like in a lot of action movies, the weapons you see are all pretty redundant. They use
They're
weapons.
Guns.
Yeah,
They're just guns.
They use weapons that like people are like familiar with. Like an AR-15 model or like a lot of the pistol. The lethal weapon movies. That was where like the Beretta 9mm became really popular, which was my standard issue.
Sure.
Or like Glocks are always in movies because that's what a lot of cops carry. But like John Wick's like guns were like. One, they were awesome.
Derek Kolstad is the writer, but
yeah, but like his weaponry was like very, very unique and like customized. Like his pistols are like you can get a good gun for less than $1,000. But like John Wick's guns are like thousands of dollars.
Well, and I remember seeing videos or like screenshots of people being like, all right, like you can see John like holding this gun and his fingers like this way, but then like when he like picks up a different gun, his finger is not like that, like because it's like John knows that like when he picks up this gun, he has to hold his hand a certain way and stuff like that. Like the detail of like him using the weapons is like really nice. The Derek Kolstad is the writer. I don't believe he is a veteran. He's just a dope guy.
I mean, they must have had some awesome advisors.
Also, fun fact, less than 24 hours before production began on John Wick, it was almost shut down because of a budgeting gap, and somebody paid $6 million to save it, to continue the production, and that somebody was Eva Longoria.
Oh!
Shout out Eva Longoria for saving John Wick.
By the way, I wonder...
$6 million.
I wonder what cut she got from doing that.
I hope it was a 24-hour cut, because I would watch a 24-hour cut of this movie. But yeah, that stuff was definitely like deliberate, like from like writing. But I will say another thing I was gonna say about Charlie, the guy who cleans up the bodies or whatever, after he gets the coins. I don't remember if this was in the film, but he does say, "I'm really sorry about Norma. She was always nice to me." So the body cleaning guy knew his wife.
I think there was a comment of like, but it was like, "I'm sorry about your wife."
Yeah. Well, he says specifically, "I'm sorry about Norma," which her name is Norma in the script. It's Helen, and in the film, and he says like, "She was always nice to me." So there's that. And also Marcus, Willem Dafoe's character, is retired in a mansion in Spain. He's living in like some lofty penthouse sort of thing in like, he's definitely like retired, I think, in the film, but like I think he's just like in New York, right? He's also like a sniper who's always drinking carrot juice. That's not a thing. He's not even a sniper. He's just clearly like
another assassin.
Yeah, he's clearly just like another John Wick, just like not the Baba Yaga, And he's just like, Vigo calls him and he's like, "Hey man." And he's like, Vigo, I'm retired, you guys always call me. And like, he's just like, "Did you say John Wick? All right." Like, and like that sort of thing. So Marcus is in there. His character does, they do a little bit different stuff with this character. I'll say that. But yeah, he's retired in Spain.
That's kind of odd.
Yeah. there's just a few more things to get through with this film. I think a lot of the changes though I'm good with. I don't think I would call it. I think it definitely would have been a really dope movie if it was closer to the script and like. I would have definitely loved it. It would have been like in rotation like it is for now. I don't think I would be able to call it a perfect action film.
I'm glad they got rid of like the helicopter,
Yeah, I like how the cops were just a non-issue.
Yeah.
Things like that.
It's funnier that they are the way they are because, like we were saying before, they're just kind of like, let's just stay the fuck away from
Yeah,
him.
exactly. And, up until this point, like, this is the point in the film and the script in which the rampage begins. So let's get to the rampage after this quick little break.
Rampage! We are back talking about John Wick and the script that was not called John Wick. It was called Scorned.
Scorn.
Luke read it. I didn't. Luke's explaining to me the differences between the script and the movie. Did recently watch the movie.
Yep. We're talking about what was on the page and what was on the screen. The rampage has just begun for John. The rampage kind of started in the script already. That's also why I like how they just cut out the whole second chop shop thing. I mean, one chop shop is enough.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. One of my favorite scenes in all of cinema is when John Wick goes to the bathhouse.
So let's get into it.
I have watched that scene. I don't even know how, like, just as a standalone, I've watched it so many times. I love it. Like, I love the music. Like, I think they nailed it. Which, also, funny, quick fact before you get into it. Remember when before he enters, he kind of rolls up to that big, big Russian guard.
Yeah.
He's like, hello, Francis.
Yeah. He's
So
like,
that.
you lost weight.
Yeah. He's like, you lost weight.
I think it's Kevin Nash.
That's Kevin Nash,
Yeah.
former WWE wrestler Kevin Nash. John Wick spares him.
Yeah.
He's like, why don't you take a smoke break?
Okay. Not in the script. None of that. Bathhouse, none of it.
Not there?
None of it.
Well, that was one of the best moves they made.
So with the Vigo Baba Yaga speech to Yosef, he's like, you're on house arrest until I say so. And Yosef kind of listens to his daddy after that. He scared the shit out of him. John then takes a train after he has Charlie pick up the bodies. You okay? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. You and Ada were like sharing a moment there. After he gets the bodies picked up, he takes a train into the city because he doesn't ask Aurelio for a car in the script. He takes a train to the Continental. He checks in. All of that is cool. And he goes right to the Red Circle nightclub, which is where the bathhouse scene takes place, like in the basement there. Right. But instead... And the whole Francis thing, that's not there. He literally just pays the bouncer $300. Drops he slaps 300 on him, gets right in, like slaps 200 at the bartender, gets a private section, gives the waiter like fucking 300, and is like, yo, give me a fucking bottle of whatever and shit. Like he spends like $1,000 in this bitch just to like get a vantage point, and he sees I forget Yosef's friend. In the script, one of them has a limp, but the first one he kills. He sees him. He's got some bodyguards. Watches dude go to the bathroom. Oh, there's a metal detector in the club. So he stashes his one piece that he has in a potted plant, and he goes through. He's unarmed in the club, and he sees dude like he's like in some private section on a balcony. Sees dude down there with 2 armed guards. Watches him until he goes to the bathroom. Goes into the bathroom and locks the door. He like jams it with like some like ceramic knife that he got through, and dudes in the stall pissing or some shit. Fucking yokes up both the fucking bodyguards. Like he's covered in blood because he like slices him with the fucking razor knife or something, and beats the shit out of. His name's Victor. That's what it is. He kills Victor. He kills the fuck out of Victor. Like,
okay.
He's like, where the fuck is Yosef? He's like,
there is a Victor in the movie.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure all the names of the kids are the same. Kills the fuck out of Victor. Like shoves him in the fucking toilet. He's like, where's Yosef? And he's like, man, fuck you, bitch. And he's like, blah, 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 blah. I'm dead. So yeah, again, does all this unarmed, murders the fuck out of Victor, and like takes his phone.
And John Wick is in his 70s in the script doing this.
60s
or 60s. Okay,
early 60s.
Okay.
And Keanu is in his early. I mean, he's 49 during the first film. He's in his early 50s through the franchise. So yeah, and then he leaves. Then he stumbles out. He trades shirts with Victor because he's covered in blood. Goes back, pays the waitress like $200 more. I think it's $1,000 total. He throws $1,000 at this fucking club. Limps out. Oh, he caught a bullet in the shoulder. That's what happened.
Oh, okay.
I believe it was like in the gut in the film, because he's like. Through the whole fucking franchise.
Yeah, but he's got like all that bulletproof shit on in the film, so it's like it doesn't like penetrate.
Not yet. I mean, he got it in the shoulder.
Okay.
In the first film, it's not bullet. Like he takes a bullet in the first film.
Oh, okay.
And so technically,
he does.
technically, all 4 films take place like within a couple weeks. So he's just been dealing with this the whole time. So yeah, he like limps out and he calls. So at the end of the bathhouse scene, and he's got Victor's phone, and Yosef calls him like, "Where you at?" And he's like, "Victor's dead." And like, dude's like, "What?" And like drives up. In the script, he calls Yosef from Victor's phone, and he's like, "Yo, Vicky, what up, dog?" And he's like, "Victor's dead, dog." He like says some gangster ass shit to him, like, "I'm coming for your ass. Ain't nobody safe." And then he was like, "I'm about to go fucking." He's like, "I'm about to go Exodus on yo ass," or some shit like that. He like says, and he's like, "You know what? Better yet, about to go Genesis on yo ass." And then he quotes the Bible to him.
Religion drop. Got it. Got it. The script of John Wick was actually deep-rooted Christian conspiracy theory propaganda.
He straight up recites like an entire passage from Genesis. I like skipped it.
Let there be light.
Like, for real. It was some fire. It's Old Testament, so it's pretty heavy. But like, yeah, and like scares the fuck out of Yosef. Yosef's just chilling in his room smoking a blunt or something like that. Like he hasn't left the crib since Vigo told him to. So all that happens, and then like he goes and like, you know, a lot of it's the same. He does go down to that like speakeasy in the he comes back and is like, "Is the doctor in?" Like, "Yes, we'll send him right up." Like that whole thing, like, you know, like, "Hey man, like take two of these if you're gonna do something, but like you should rest, but like take 2 of these pills and you'll be fine," sort of thing. Like the doctor patches him up, digs the bullet out. I think it was through and through, because they talk about like what's through and through and what's not. And then he goes to the speakeasy. Same thing with like the coin in, except the person who like answers the door, like he lets him through. He's like, "I don't know you," and he was like, "I don't know you either." And he was like, "What's your name?" He's like, "John Wick." And he's like, "Oh, my bad. Hey, how's it going? My name's so and so." You know, there's this fucking singer in the speakeasy who like lights up when she sees him, and the bartender knows him and all that. And that's, what's his name? Winston. Winston, like the owner of the Continental. All that's the same, except the singer finishes a song, comes over, is like, "Hey, how you doing?" Everybody in the speakeasy seems to know who Norma is. She's like, "Oh," the bartender's like, "Oh, sorry about Norma, man. She was so cool, you know." And the singer is like, "You know, I haven't seen you in a while, blah, blah, blah." They're talking all kind of old-timey like they were. They do that a little bit in the film. And she's like, "Do you mind if I haven't sang the song like you told me to, but
there's a song.
Do you mind if I sing it?" So earlier in the script, like he, like when he's like leaving, like when he's like reminiscing about her, he goes, "It had to be you." And she goes up there and sings "It Had to Be You." And he's sitting there with Winston.
Okay, I'm officially glad they got rid of all of that.
When he's sitting there with Winston and she starts singing, he like lights up, and then he starts to tear up, and like he has a flashback of them dancing to that song, and dancing to that song in the speakeasy. So she was in the fucking assassin speakeasy. Yeah, like she knew all about this shit.
Yeah.
I like read it a second time. Like they don't specifically say that they were dancing in the speakeasy, but it kind of looked like it could have been. He could have been reminiscing about dancing to that song with his wife somewhere else, but like it kind of seemed like she kind of knew. But in the film, you're kind of like, she had no idea. He retired when they met, sort of thing, and you know, like that, and they like started to have a happy life, and then disease took over and he lost her, you know, like that. Yeah, there's a lot of blanks that you fill in as a watcher of the film, and I kind of like how they did that. But also the assassin that's like trying to, like that chick in the film that's like you know, like there's no business on continental grounds.
Right.
They don't specifically say that, but also that assassin's in the film, except it's a dude. But that pretty much goes the same way, except like they follow him to his room, and it's like a gang of like 4 of them in his room that try to kill him, and they like pin him down to the bed, and somehow John gets out of it, kills all of the henchmen, and leaves the one dude. Same thing, like the neighbor guy's like, yeah, I could watch him for a bit, except it's not a chick, it's a dude. He beats the shit out of that dude who's the chick in the film. He's like, where's Yosef? He's like, I don't know who the fuck Yosef is. He's like, well, where's Vigo? He's like, look, all I know is that he keeps all his money down here or whatever. Because remember in the film, he goes and like finds their stash and like blows it all up. Is it a church that it's in?
I can't remember. I think it's
either a nondescript building or it's a church.
I think it's a nondescript building.
In the script, it's a bank.
Yeah, so this script is getting like pretty different now.
It gets pretty different.
This is like starting to turn into a different movie now.
Well, and it's so action-packed. That's kind of why I'm going through it like this, because it's very action-packed. So like he goes to this diner and he sits down and he orders a coffee and a bear claw. And he's
that doesn't sound like John Wick. That doesn't sound like yeah, I'd like I just whacked like 24 people. I'd like
bear claw, please.
I'd like a cafe con leche with a little bear claw on the side.
He specifically ordered Americano and a bear claw. The bear claw threw me off a bit. And he's like, "Oh, where's the bathroom?" And she's like, "Oh, it's right there." He's like, "Thank you." And
I'm gonna go take a dump.
So he gets up to go to the bathroom. Except he doesn't turn left, he turns right, dips into the alley, flips his coat inside out, so it's not black, it's brown, and he rented a car. He got a car from the concierge at the Continental. That's where he gets a car. And in the trunk, they show him looking at like a briefcase and a duffel bag. He opens the duffel bag, smiles, blah, blah, blah. So now he's in this alley, flips his coat, opens that duffel bag, he puts a mask on and like gears the fuck up, and he goes in and he robs the fuck out of this bank. Gets everybody out, gets the fucking manager. He's like, take me to Vigo's shit. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Breaks his knees. Like, where's Vigo's shit? He's like, it's right over here. And he does the same thing. He sets it on fire and everything. He walks out. It explodes behind him. He doesn't flinch or look. He goes back into the alley.
No flinch look?
Dude, every time.
This is re-emphasizing the I don't need to look at explosives.
So then he goes back into the alley, takes off the mask, flips his coat back so it's like black again, and goes and sits down and drinks his coffee and eats his bear claw. And watches the bank manager run out and like the place blowing up and like and then Vigo shows up and like they have this whole like shootout and everything like that. John Wick like steals a diesel truck and like rams into them. He's like taking people's guns, killing people, dropping stuff. Like there was some scene. You know what happened? What does happen? Because what happens before he leaves to the alley to rob the bank? Vigo shows up. That's what happens with like his homeboys, and he's like, yo, hang on in the car. Vigo sits down. He's like, yo, long time no see. He's like, yup. And he was like, sorry about your wife. And he's like, yup. And he was like, you guys have kids? He's like, no. And he's like, yeah, I fucked a waitress and now I got a kid. Sucks, it sucks, but whatever. He's still my kid. So we get a backstory on Yosef.
That he's just a bastard.
Yeah.
So Yosef is the bastard that stole the boogeyman's car.
Yes.
That's why his dad just jacked him in the movie.
and Vigo even says, he's like, look, like it's really interesting, like the depths that you'll go to protect someone that, you might not even love that much. Like he was talking about himself. He's like, look, it's still my son. Like, I gotta stop you. Earlier in the film and the script, he puts like that bounty on John Wick's head. That's why like the person the Continental Trust kills him. That's all the same. So I forgot that little interaction happens. But then like after the bank blows up, Vigo shows up again. Henchman, he kills them all. Blah blah blah. Ends up in a shootout. Fucking Vigo catches a few shots. So does John Wick. No, yeah, Vigo catches a few shots. I don't think John Wick got like fucking scraped in the face, like a bullet like whizzed part of his ear off or something like that. And he goes up to Vigo, who's like dying, and he's like, "Yo, where the fuck is Yosef?" And he's like, he like pulls out his phone. He's like 9-1, like he can't hit 1 because he's dying and shit. He's like, "Where's Yosef? I'll call if you tell me where Yosef is." And he's like, "Look, man, I was about to put him on a fucking down by the docks. There's like a shipyard. He's about to get on a ship and go to Russia, man. It's gonna be like 2 hours." And he's like, "All right." And he goes to dial 911 for him, and Yosef dies. Yosef's dead.
Yosef be dead.
Yosef just
That's it.
Yeah. So, and in the film, like he killed, or not Yosef, Vigo. Vigo does. In the film, he kills Yosef, and then Vigo and him have like that awesome brawl in the rain in the shipyard.
You mean Yosef and him have a brawl in the shipyard?
No, Yosef. He kills Yosef in it is like a shipyard sort of warehouse sort of thing,
right?
And then like Vigo and him are like by the docks or something. They have like a fist fight in the rain, like the two old dudes, and it's fucking sick, and that's kind of the end of the action of the film. None of that's there because Vigo has a cane and like he dies like
right.
And then so he finds out where Yosef is, and he goes there, and it's pretty similar. There is a few moments like where like John is getting like off a train, like a subway, and like there's because he has there's two friends of Yosef, right? He killed the first one in the red circle.
It is not cool to be Yosef's friends.
No. But they're all dickheads.
They're all dying.
John Wick gets off a train, and you see his other friend, and he's got henchmen, and they see John Wick, and they're like creeping towards him, like smiling and stuff. And John Wick turns around, and they just get domed. And John looks over, and Marcus is just like, I'm something of a shooter myself. And that's pretty
I'm
much,
on your side, John.
that was Marcus. He was a sniper
William
in the film.
Dafoe.
Yeah, he was a sniper in the film. He's just a fucking assassin, and that's the last you see of Marcus. In the film, they capture John Wick. You think all hope is lost, and Marcus fucking pops him through the window, helps him escape, and then towards the end they kill Marcus. None of that happens. They don't even capture John Wick. There's no chance that you don't think John Wick is going to do this. Like this, which in every action movie, and almost every good action movie, there's a moment where you think that the hero is not going to be able to get out of this, and you know what I mean? Like something happens. So I'm glad that they added that to the film. But anyway,
they also simplified a lot of this in the film.
Yeah, they really did.
Because that from what you're saying, this film kind of went off the train tracks a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that film would have been a lot harder to make.
Yeah.
And it seemed like you kind of would have gotten lost a little bit along the way.
Yeah, it did get
starts to get a little too old. Like John Wick,
it was pretty straightforward.
John Wick, in and of itself, even though it's make believe, right? It's not real.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like, we can kind of buy this. We can kind of buy it.
Well, let me tell you how Yosef dies really quick. He creeps in. He kills a bunch of people with his sniper. They can't find him. Where he is like some sort of facility in which they're smuggling in all their guns and drugs and stuff. It's like a canning place, and it's like a grain place. Pretty much there's like contents being filled with guns, and then like grain is coming down ramps and covering the like shipping cargo with grain, right?
Okay.
So eventually he finds Yosef, and he like bursts into the room. Like John Wick kills everybody, and Yosef has a knife in his hand. John Wick comes in, one shot left, and shoots the window behind him. And he's like, "You missed, bitch." And he's like, "No." He goes, "No, I didn't." And fucking grabs him, fucking snaps his neck, and shoves him through the window that is now shatterable because he shot it. And he falls, breaks his back, and lands like in one of those bins, and then gets covered with grain, and he screams as he gets suffocated and dies.
Okay, I'm glad they didn't do that. That sounds ridiculous.
In the film, Yosef is like chilled up in a similar situation, like playing video games with his homie, and like dude's like, "Yo, I think that," his last friend dies, and like what is dope is like he finally finds Yosef, and he's just like, "Yo, it was just a fucking," and it's just like, so sick,
dude. I loved it in the movie because like John Wick in the bathhouse scene, he had the chance to kill
had him
Joseph,
dead to rights,
and
he bitched out, bro.
Well, he like just grabbed the dude and shot him first and was like, "I'm saving you for last."
Yes. That was so sick.
That was so sick. I'm going to go through your entire crew.
Yeah.
And then you.
With no words. He didn't have to tell him a fucking Bible quote, dude. He was just like, poop, poop. And that was the dopest shit because he got a gun and it was aiming it at John Wick, and John Wick looks up and is like, poop, poop. coming for your ass. And he bitches out and runs away. Like that was so sick. But yeah, he died like in this horrific way when in like I like how he died in the movie. He's like, oh, I told you I was gonna kill you, bow, you know. And then he counts his bullet holes like through and through. Oop, that's not through and through. He limps to a veterinary thing, and he patches himself up, and he finds a dog, and like he walks away with the dog, and that's how the film ends. But
or the script.
That's how they both end.
Oh, right. Yeah,
but in the script, he finds the dog, and the dog is actually named. The dog is a mutt, and it's named Miko. But it's like the dog doesn't have a name, like
no, in the film.
You know, and like it's speculated because he doesn't want to like feel super close to the dog or something. But he calls it like boy and sit. I think it's a girl it's a girl dog in the script, and it ends with like him and his new dog swerving around the abandoned aircraft hangar in his car.
Just riding off into the sunset.
Yeah, and I think it just ends with him like limping away with the dog in the film. But yeah, and in the film, like it opens up with him like limping out of the SUV and watching the Dead Wife beach video. And then like we cut to that at the end, and then he goes to the veterinarian. So like the bookend thing happens in the film, doesn't happen in the script. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the difference between the stories.
Well, I'm happy overall they did not make that script.
I'm happy that script led to what John Wick is.
Yeah.
I think they made some good changes. I think it was, like I said, I think it was a pretty good script. I would definitely...
Not a bad script at all,
like
from what it sounds like.
Say that this script happened and they got all the same actors. I would have loved this film. It would definitely be in rotation for me.
How many pages was the script?
It was about 120, I want to say.
Okay, so this was long.
Yeah.
The script was long.
Yeah, feature-length film. I mean, it was there. I could be wrong, but I want to say it was around 120.
Okay.
But yeah, I think they tightened it up. Though I think they definitely turned. It was very interesting how they turned what I think is actually a pretty good script into a phenomenal movie. Right. It would have been very interesting if this script was like just amazing, right? Like I think it is amazing, but I think if it was like this is a phenomenal script and they turned it into what John Wick was, or if it was like word for word what John Wick was, but no, I think this is kind of why we're doing this. We're reading a script that was really good, probably got some good coverage and things like that.
I think the Blacklist would have given this a 6.
You think so?
Because it's the Blacklist.
Yeah, I mean, some of the choice. I always wondered why they killed Marcus. I don't know if they planned on doing sequels from that early on. I don't think they did.
I don't think they did.
I don't think they did.
I don't think they did at all. I don't think
because they went real deep in the
sequels.
I
mean, it's the same with like Taken. I think they just thought this was going to be a good action movie. It was going to make their money back and and a little more, and then be done with it.
Yeah.
Like John Wick blew the fuck up.
It did.
And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that they were like, whoa, Keanu can fucking gun.
Yeah. Well, they dumped a lot into his training. That was the whole thing.
And plus, he doesn't have like a whole lot of dialogue in the movie.
No, he barely talks.
Like, whoa.
And yeah, he talks a lot in the script. So I like how they gave him a little more stoicism.
It would have been kind of funny.
I like how they didn't make him a veteran.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
actually.
I mean, he still could be a veteran. I like how, but I don't. Yeah, I don't think he is though because of the backstory they made for him in the sequels. It
would have been nice to see John Wick, just chomping on a bear claw in the movie.
Yeah,
just
honestly,
taking a bear claw break.
Yeah, like that scene was pretty good. Like if like a remnant of that scene like made it in the film, I'm sure it would have been dope.
He's just eating a coffee and a bear claw, doing a little surveillance. That would have been nice.
There's also the thing. It's like he killed 3 men with the pencil. Wasn't in the script. So like once you turn like the John Wick script version into a guy who kills people with pencils, like a lot of things change.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at.
I don't think a guy who well, you know what? Maybe a guy who does murder people with pencils, might enjoy a quiet bear claw.
Hey, everyone likes bear claws. Shout out to all the gluten-free people. But yeah, we're the Thunderbutts podcast. This has been awesome.
Tell us what you want us. What do you want us to watch?
Yeah, what do you want us to watch / read, talk about? Let us know in the comments. And if you could like and subscribe, like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. That really helps us, and it shows the algorithm that we're a video that can be shown to other people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been real. You want to say something really cool before we fade out? Say something cool for us to fade out to.
Let there be light. Genesis.
Yeah, I figured you were going Genesis.